So, here we go again. This time around, Mono Blue Mill. We are not in Brawl, we are in Standard again. We play in the play queue to hopefully not get any major Standard decks, because this is another meme deck. It is a mill deck, it is not good. It is inspired by what most of the Eldraine draft experience is currently. We play for Merfolk Secretkeeper, which have an adventure that says target player puts the top 4 cards of the library into their graveyard. We're not going to use it on ourselves, we're going to use it on our opponents. Because we don't play Chase. We could play Chase, but then we would be even greedier because we wouldn't be allowed to mill that. We play Merfolk Secretkeeper, and we also play Lucky Clover. Deathwing is a Clover mill because we use Lucky Clover with Merfolk Secretkeeper to mill our opponent. When we have Lucky Clover, we basically duplicate with one every time we cast the Sorcery Adventure, Venture Deeper. If we have 2 of them, it triples it, and so forth and so on. We have Mirrormade because we play Lucky Clover, and if we kind of want to go off, we can copy this. But we also play Drowned Secret, which is our second most important mill target. Yeah, we try to get a Drowned Secret down. If we don't draw any Merfolk Secretkeeper, we actually don't even want Lucky Clovers, right? This card mills whenever we cast a blue spell. And since we're playing mono blue, except for Lucky Clover, every single card that we play is going to mill our opponents. We play Overwhelmed Apprentice, it stops aggro, even if it's just a tiny bit. It's Scry, so it's fixing. And it mills our opponent for 2 if we have some Drowned Secrets. It's even more than that. Fae of Wishes brings cards from our sideboard, which is actually important to at least some extent. We have Unsummon, which functions really good with the Merfolk Secretkeeper. Grafdigger's Cage, if we just have something in the opponent's graveyard, for example if he plays Rakdos Sacrifice, because we don't want to deal with those cats that are coming back every single time. We have Negate because I lost to a Beanstalker Giant and on upkeep. He had no cards in his library, and I don't want that to happen again. We have Midnight Clock. Maybe it goes long, maybe we just need to reshuffle ourselves again and draw more cards. We have a Portal of Sanctuary, again, to bounce our Merfolk Secretkeeper, to bounce our Overwhelmed Apprentice, to bounce our Fae of Wishes. Then we have 2 Ashioks, it's another mill piece. God-Pharaoh statue, because why not? We can fetch it, if there's ever a reason to, I guess. Ugin gets rid of everything. Magic Mirror, good draw card. I don't think I ever needed. Same with Finale of Revelation. Then we have one Stolen by the Fae. Probably the same because we don't win with damage. Maybe there will be a giant thing, Troll King for example, if that's even ever gonna see play, if we somehow make it to 8 mana. Mass Manipulation simply because Oko. Yeah. No, there's obviously if someone goes semi-wide, we can then take some things against them. Then we play also Brazen Borrower and Fae of Wishes and Merfolk Secretkeeper. If you check all of those 3 cards, they also have adventures, right? Not only Merfolk Secretkeeper, meaning that if we have the Lucky Clover out, Brazen Borrower is going to bounce 2 things, Fae of Wishes is going to fetch us 2 things. But we do have to be careful because if we target the same things in our sideboard, we actually lose 1 trigger. Then Callous Dismissal and Runaway Together are just bounces. They stop aggro, they slow down our opponent while trying to help us advance, either by another land drop, another card draw, or another 2 mil with the Drowned Secrets. Then Into the Story is just a really efficient redraw engine, because most of our time our opponent is going to have 7 or more cards in his graveyard, especially if we need to cast this card. So it's just efficient redraw. Castle Vantress. You could play more Castle Vantress. I only own one. This is a meme deck, as I said, so I wouldn't recommend crafting any of these cards if you're not using them in other decks. I have not seen a list of any deck that plays more than 1 Castle Vantress, so I'm not going to craft more than 1 Castle Vantress. Then we play 22 Islands. I think I have the actual full art one. Yeah, I'm going to replace it with the full art one simply because I have that. And then I play 2 Mystic Sanctuaries. You can play more, but I don't advise it because we play 24 5 lands in this deck, meaning that it is not really often going to happen that we are having more than 5 or 6 lands in play at any given moment, and we usually don't want to have any tap lands. So I'm just going to change not a swamp into here, not a swamp, thank you game, but I'm going to take out my 22 islands and add 22 full art islands, because style, that's the only reason. If you have a different mill list, I would like to see it. I really enjoy playing mill. And let's go into the game. I tried this deck today out again. I had expansion explosion in, meaning that I splashed the steam vents. I noticed that I'm not getting enough mana into play for steam vents to be worth either shocking myself or to accommodating for explosion expansion, especially for the explosion part, I believe, is the one where you draw the cards and deal the damage. This hand is slow. Usually what I'm looking for is a hand where I have a 1-drop in hand, a creature 1-drop. That's important because there are a lot of creature-based decks here going on. We do have 3 bounces, but I'm not going to go so greedy. This hand is actually fantastic. I'm going to keep it, but I am going to put away that into the story, because we are most of the times only playing 1 card a turn, so it doesn't necessarily matter. This is an aggro deck. I'm thinking of maybe we should play it more controlly, because we are not going to rush them. They only need to deal now 19 damage to us, and we need to basically deal 60 to them. So I believe I'm actually just going to play this as an 0-4, because now if he wants to deal this 1 damage to me, he will have to activate the Tin Street Dodger, which therefore then diminishes it, right? If I hadn't played this card right now, I would have taken 1 more damage and next turn another damage, and it's just going to rack up. If we don't draw anything good though, it's not really going to help us, right? Like now we see, it's kind of interesting and funny. I'm not going to win this. Like I can already tell you, I am so not going to win this game right now. Because maybe I should play the Ming Yang whatnot, but then we would be more damage based. So I'm not actually a fan of that. I think this deck has a huge issue with Planeswalkers. I'm going to surrender here because I don't know what else to do, right? If I play another Mirrormade on our Drowned Secrets, it doesn't work out. If I wait and then bounce this, I also lose, and he only needs a turn run to win. This is an incredibly bad start. This is a person that presumably just wants to get his wins of the day in the play queue. Usually you see more childish decks, more funnish decks that not necessarily just beat down face, because this was mono red Cavalcade that we saw. I ranked up to Platin using that deck. I don't grind up further than Platin simply because it's not worth it for me. The rewards are really diminishing, and the time that you have to put into is a lot, especially if you get to Platin and then to Diamond, because everyone's using obviously meta decks and they already have all the cards, otherwise they wouldn't be in Platin or in Diamond. So I usually don't play more than going to Platin, than maybe just checking in on the quests, especially if I have 3 or more. This hand is fantastic, right? We have an Overwhelmed Apprentice to fix our top. We have Drowned Secrets to just make more mill happening. We have a Lucky Clover to copy, and Callous Dismissal if something goes wrong. Depending on what he plays on turn 1, I'm maybe not even going to play an Overwhelmed Apprentice, right? Now I'm actually going to play it because next turn I want to Lucky Clover, and then I can Drown Secrets into Merfolk Secretkeeper. We do want the 3rd land, and we're actually also fine with the Brazen Borrower because we are planning on playing the Lucky Clover. Now, he has a Dimir land, so there might be a Thought Erasure happening. And I assume that he's taking the Drowned Secrets over the Lucky Clover. I'm not 100% certain, but the Drowned Secrets does technically yield more value right now. I'm going to play it. Dimir usually doesn't have a way to destroy artifacts. Maybe bounce and then discard, but I don't see any other way happening. It could be mill, mill control, so he played a blocker, which is great for us, because meaning that if he wants to fetch something from a sideboard, he would have to get this back to his hand first. He's Grixis. We could have actually just seen that by the Steam vents. Now, I don't really care about damage dealt. I don't, because my deck does not focus on damage dealt. I'm going to cancel this actually and play this first, because if I know that there is another Lucky Clover on top, then I'm not going to bother. Few battlefield. We don't have any spells in our graveyard, so we don't need the Mystic Sanctuary. I can keep the Overwhelmed Apprentice just to see what is on our top, and I think that's fine. Meaning that I'm just going to mill our opponent for 8 in this position. I'm not going to cast it, the Merfolk Secretkeeper as an 0-4. There's nothing to block right now, so I don't need to do anything. He does play Fires of Invention, but we already milled 2 of them. I hope that he didn't draw one already, because if he has one in hand, then it's not looking good for us. Fires, I don't know what they thought with Fires of Invention, but it is not an okay card. Being able to play 2 cards at the same time, every single time, is not okay. He destroyed our Overwhelmed Apprentice, and that's fine, because again, we're not really looking to use them in that fashion. Meaning bounces. Run away together. Usually I would be happy seeing this, but since he doesn't have a creature that I want to bounce, right? Fae of Wishes is not something we want to give back to his hand. I'm actually going to bottom both and then just say pass. We are not really drawing into a lot of mill right now, but we already have him like nearly down to half of his library. The first half is always the easy part. The second half is where it's getting then hard to do. Simply because at the start of the game he obviously draws 7, so he goes down to 53, and then each turn he draws another card. We're already in turn 5, so he drew 12 cards already. So we didn't actually mill half of his deck, right? We milled 16 cards. It just looks like half because there's a 3-5 standing there. But he has a lot of cards on the battlefield, even if it doesn't look like it, simply because of the Fae of the Wishes. Let's go my turn. It's a land. I'm not happy seeing this whatsoever. It's not looking good for us. Maybe I should not... this time around we didn't even draw our draw cards. Now, there could be an argument for playing more draw cards, right? Like maybe a second opt or a third. I don't even remember the spell that draws 4. Obviously, if you have more Castle Vantress, I advise you to play it at least one more, right? If you have it, I'm saying do not craft it for the stack. It's definitely not worth it. The cost is obnoxious. Another Callous Dismissal. I'm so not happy to draw these right now. Like, these are presumably one of the worst draws in our deck. I'm not sure if a land would be a worse draw, but Callous Dismissal doesn't do anything for us, because it just gives him back Fae of Wishes. And enabling his sideboard in this situation for us is not good, right? Like, he played nothing last turn. He's obviously going to play something right now. We are in a draw-heavy deck, so I'm fine with this. I would rather him not do that, but there's not really a whole lot that I can do. What I'm interested in is that he scryed top 2. And I don't know why, unless it's a spell that he really wanted. Unless he has a land, he can... Okay, there's the second Castle Vantress. It's not looking good for us. Like, it's actually not. Oh my god, this is great. This is awful. Okay, what do I do now? This is sorcery speed. I guess I will bounce this. So return this to his hand. We are only returning this because we want to punch the Narset, and then he has the decision of either killing off his Narset by using it, or in his end step we are going to bounce it anyways to use into the story.
Interesting technique.
It does mean that he gets to look into his sideboard, but at the same time, he has something that draws him cards, or draws like with apostrophes, because this doesn't actually draw a card, it just looks at the top 7 and you can pick 2 of them. Which is an insane effect if you think about it, and the only reason that it's somewhat okay in Standard is because he plays, it's sorcery speed only. He got a Nicol Bolas, he does destroy our lands, and I assume plays Fae of Wishes back? Maybe he keeps Fae of Wishes in hand. I'm a bit confused right now. Him taking out Drowned Secrets definitely hurt us though. And we didn't draw a single other adventure card except for Brazen Borrower. Okay, that didn't do anything for us. We can repeat this next turn though. Yeah, I'm thinking of playing this right now because if he plays Bolas and upticks it, there's not really a whole lot that I want to get rid of, and at this point I don't believe that there's a Drowned Secret win. We probably have to get a Lucky Clover win with bouncing our own things. Yes, I'm fine with getting rid of an island now, even though I played the Merfolk Secretkeeper, but I just thought we could bounce our own Merfolk Secretkeeper, Mirrormade this, then drain him for 12, which then would put him down to 16 cards, which is already way more reasonable. This is also great. So we play this. Okay. Now the question is, do we want to into the story this turn, or do we want to already set it up? I believe we do into the story, because destroy target creature or planeswalker is not that hefty for us yet. It is 2 more mil, and that means that we can set up this plan with way more mana. Yes, and it's already looking great. Okay, so I'm not sure what needs to happen for our opponent that we lose this right now, because we are in an amazing position. We can get rid of a Callous Dismissal simply because we have 2 of those. Hopefully he actually plays a creature, because then we can also run away together. This only works on creatures, not on permanents. If this would be permanents, it would be busted, right? And Oko would be played with it. So this is his second card this turn, so he didn't even destroy our Merfolk Secretkeeper. Okay, that's it for his turn, right? So now we don't have to win this turn, at least from this board set out. It doesn't look like we need to win this turn, but I'm at least somewhat certain that we can win this turn, and I think that's just amazing. Because Fires of Inventions, for everyone who doesn't know, actually stops him from playing anything instant speed, meaning that this is our turn. We can do whatever we want to, right? Like, we can start dancing if we want to, and he would have to look at us. I mean, presumably looking at us weird, because we would dance in the middle of an MTGA game, but that's not the point, okay? We could do it, and that's what's important. So we are milling him for quite a decent amount right now, but we still have a Callous Dismissal in our hand, meaning that we can rebounce the Merfolk Secretkeeper that we played earlier. See? Smart. 5-head. We bounce our own Merfolk Secretkeeper, we drain him with our Drowned Secrets. I say drain because I view his library as his life. He has 4 left. And now guess what? We are going to use the Merfolk Secretkeeper's adventure to mill him again. And there you have it. Mono Blue Mill beating Grixis Fires of Invention. One of the most dumbest card in Standard, next to Oko. And if you watch Noxus, you can say next to Oko the Broco. Yes, I watch Noxus. Noxus, I think, is a funny streamer. He touches up on a lot of different things. We won! Mono Blue Mill. I am going to keep this a bit shorter today. I noticed that the other videos that I recorded were a bit longer. I'm going over the deck again. Maybe there are some different things that you could use instead of the things that I used here. So this is basically the deck, right? We have the most important parts are Merfolk Secretkeeper, Lucky Clover, and Drowned Secrets. And then Overwhelmed Apprentice is an uncommon, meaning that if you don't play a lot of draft, it's not necessarily a card that you will have in your library. I say draft because this is one of the best one-drops in draft for mono blue, next to actually Merfolk Secretkeeper. That's why it's actually really good, simply because it's efficient, right? It scries 2, it mills 2 from your opponent, and mill is a viable strategy in draft. For standard, though, sadly, it is a card that you would have to consider actually crafting. If you don't have Into the Story or don't want to craft Into the Story, then I would say you could use Opt. Opt was in 3 different sets right now that are in Arena, right? In is that Ixalan, then Dominaria, and now it's in Eldraine. Basically, any other draw card is viable, right? Anticipate is fine. Chemist's Insight is fine. I would not use anything that's sorcery speed or that is not equivalent to its mana, right? Meaning that the best card I would say is an Opt, afterwards Anticipate, simply because it gives you that selection. Yeah, Mirrormade is another rare. It hurts crafting rares, especially if you want to use it just for a meme deck. I did it because I enjoy mill, obviously. If you have a mill list, please maybe post it into the comments, tell me somehow, I guess. I'm not on social media. I don't use social media. I don't like social media. Maybe I will go onto social media at some point, but for now I don't have the plans for it. Fae of Wishes is another rare, and then Brazen Borrower is another mythic. The positive sides of those 2 cards is that these cards are actually used in decks besides mill. So if you are looking to play, for example, Simic Food or Simic Ramp, you might already have these cards. If you don't have these cards and you're mostly playing something like Golgari Adventures and Standard currently, meaning ranked, or I mean ranked, better said, or a Celestine Adventures, then I do not advise you to craft this simply to play this deck. If you have obviously the rares and mythics to do so like freely, like you can throw mythic and rare wild cards out of the window, then do so, right? If you thought this deck looked fun and you want to give it a spin, then give it a spin. I didn't edit this video, meaning that I'm a lazy piece of ass, but also that you could just see that I went normally in this. I didn't just pick out a game out of some. If that's not necessarily what you enjoy and you would actually like to see some games where it's getting close down to the wire, then tell me so in the comments and I might have to start editing these videos. Right now they're just something funny that I do by the side as a hobby. So yeah, leave a like if you liked. Maybe consider subscribing. There aren't a lot of videos, but there are some, I guess. And if you didn't dislike the video, and tell me in the comment section below what you didn't like. Thanks for watching, and maybe see you next time.